Oh my god, it actually worked. Okay. Holy fuck. Sorry. I did not expect it to, like, fucking, work. Holy fuck. Okay, we're live. Let me just tell Twitter that I got this working and that we're live, because I didn't expect it to go live. I feel like that was brutal. I feel like that was absolutely brutal. I just want some confirmation in chat. See, I have this other device here, so I can view my YouTube, because this has been actually hell to set up, and I didn't know why. But apparently you have to request from YouTube access, like, it's a feature to stream. Apparently you need to request access 24 hours before, and I was like, shit, because I tried to go live, and then it said that I needed to request access from YouTube, and I was thinking, fuck, I'm gonna have to let them down again. But luckily it, like, said I already had access to that feature, which is weird, because I've never requested access to streaming features before. But anyway, I'll be able to see your comments in a sec. I'm just, like, pulling up my YouTube channel. It's an incredibly autistic process. I'm so sorry. But it's good that it's working. Oh, that's so weird. Okay, awesome. It's working. All right, guys. So, first of all, I want to apologize for cancelling streams again and again and again. The only reason I left YouTube to begin with and stopped streaming to begin with was because I was being mass flagged everywhere. When I tell you that I had, like, a dedicated group of people who were flagging me, I mean it. These people were absolutely insane, to the point that they flagged me off of, like, platforms I didn't even know I had accounts on. Gmail, they flagged down, like, a PayPal of mine. They were, like, fucking obsessed, and there was a good group of them as well. And it got to the point where I was like, nothing is gonna change until I figure out who is doing this. So I had to locate all of the people who were flagging me. And the problem is, if I want to stream, like now, I need to be able to promote the stream, and I need, like, another platform to be able to be like, hi guys, I'm streaming on. And they flagged me off of all of those platforms, literally everything. Twitter, Discord, everything. And because they'd flagged me off of all of those platforms, I had nowhere to even tell people that I was streaming. And the last one that they flagged me off of was YouTube. And this one was painful. This was a hard pill for me to swallow, because my YouTube used to have a lot of subscribers, and I was always planning on coming back to streaming. And when they flagged me off of YouTube, I was like, it's fucking over. And I tried to rebuild, like, an audience so that I could direct people back to my new YouTube, I guess. But they'd flagged me off of all of those as well. Now, if you want to know the people doing this, one of them is the Council of Evil, who is basically a group of Discord pedophiles. They only found out about me through Godwinson, because I used to stream with Godwinson, and they, I guess, became obsessed with flagging me down. I'm reading chat, so I'm gonna answer chat. It's been a mess. But one of the people flagging me was, like, I think Gahul and his friend Barry. His friend Barry is an insane person who tried to extort money out of me to stop flagging me. Another person that was flagging me was the former owner of lolcow.farm. I literally don't know why she is so mad at me. I have no idea. But she has been obsessed with flagging me for, like, 2 years now. In fact, she used to send me, like, screenshots. Every time she flagged me, she would send me a screenshot where it was like, based on your report, we have suspended this person's account for whatever the fuck, right? And she used to literally just openly admit that it was her doing that. And then there was Daniel Lopez. Now, this is someone I actually want to talk to you guys about. It's the hat, it's gotta be. You should start making video essays. Yeah, for real. Anyway. I am a 39-year-old man from Yemen. Anyway, let's talk. Let's talk about some important things. Now that I'm back, there are so many people I want to stream on. I really don't know who to go for first, but there are some things that have happened recently that I think you would find interesting. And one of those things is Gabe Hoffman. Now, I have never disliked Gabe Hoffman until recently. I know he is popular to dislike because he's Jewish and because he is a supportive of the Kino Casino, Kiwi Farms, Josh. I understand why people don't like him for those reasons. But I've always been of the opinion that I judge people on like an individual basis. And so I suppose I was like, let's just see if he is everything people say about him. Now, I've had him on various forms of social media for about, like, maybe 2 years now. And with Gabe, at first, I didn't really get a bad impression from him. But he did seem to want to direct my content in a very particular direction and was willing to pay X amount of money for this to happen. And I was like, I don't think that's a good idea. Because what he wanted me to do would have been kind of catastrophic for, I guess, my audience and also for my sector relations. It would be very bad sector politics. And I also don't particularly agree with what he wanted me to do. So I kind of didn't ever take him up on that offer. I guess it was nice of him to offer. Anyway, recently, I was looking into Elissa clips. And Elissa clips is someone who basically archives Nick Ricata. But the thing is, all of the people that compliment her and watch her streams are from Kiwi Farms. Basically, yeah, that's it. Like, literally everyone who watches her shit is from Kiwi Farms. So I was like, this person is probably a fucking piece of shit. Because any archiver who is, like, being praised and simped for by Kiwi Farms, I'm like, someone needs to check your hard drives. And with Elissa clips, I looked into her. And I think the first thing that made me look into her was she actually archived something of me. And I was like, who is this person? Is this the new impressor? Now, I looked into Elissa clips, and Elissa got into this massive fucking scandal where she ended up trying to help a man flee after he was accused of, like child molestation. And, like, I guess he tried to, like, kidnap this child. And she also helped him to, like, get out the country back to Mexico. This is, like, public information, by the way. There are news outlets that have posted about this. In fact, her local police have posted about this. And she then accused her local police force and anyone who posted about this as being hecking defamatory. So I was like, huh. So I did a deep dive, and basically she was not defamed. People have a go at me for, like, they'll be like, oh, she associated with this group or that group or this person or that person. But no one wants to talk about the fact that Elissa Clips was in a happy relationship with, like, a child abductor. Like, why is no one talking about this? Why is it always so directed towards, like, people who, I guess, followed one person who was into degenerate anime, but not directed towards people who literally were married to or in a relationship with verifiable child abductors? Like, so I was like, okay. So I found a photo of, like, her face from the, like, poster. From the poster where basically people were saying, help us find this kid. She is missing. And I posted it next to Elissa Clips' face, which is, for some reason, her profile picture, because I guess she just needs that much attention. And this made Gabe Hoffman really fucking mad. This made Gabe Hoffman really mad. And he was like, take this down. It's defamatory. And I was like, Gabe, this has been posted by an account with 100,000 followers. Like, this is in the public domain. I didn't pull this out of my ass. And he basically kept trying to get me to delete anything about Elissa clips. And I was like, I am not sweeping for a child abductor, Gabe. So I don't like him anymore. It's not like I was his best friend to begin with, but I am not sweeping up for Elissa clips. That busted hoe, that's her fucking problem. That's not my fucking problem. She can go and seethe somewhere. Anyway, he called me mentally ill and a drug addict, and then he blocked me because I laughed at him, I guess. So Gabe no longer likes me. Also, okay, let's see what people are saying in chat, because I feel like chat is getting mad that I'm not replying to them. So let's see. Let's look at chat. Oh yeah, okay. Elaine, I'm posting this stream on SOC. Your eyes tell terrifying stories. So is Gahul Council of Evil? Gahul is Council of Evil. From what I've heard about Gahul, he runs a kind of a board of his own, like similar to Cow. And that board is like constantly flooded with CP. And it's basically full of, I haven't even been on it, but this is what other people have told me about it. Now, the thing with Gahul is he was actually raided by the FBI for having child pornography. And this is like a well-known fact. Now, I am not saying he had it, but that's what he was raided for. And these are a group of people who seem to also be behind flagging me. So I did look into him a little bit. Wow, she's live. Elissa clips, no. So the law is she got rejected by Ricata and started A-logging him. I know that. The thing with Elissa, the thing that I don't like is it's rejected simp syndrome in a woman. Now, I know people are going to, like, say that about me and be like, oh, well, you know, didn't you have the same attitude towards, like, Josh? The thing that made me dislike him was not the rejection. It was the fact that he decided to host exploitative pornography of me. I'm not going to punish someone because they didn't want to date me, right? But there is like zero excuse for hosting illegal pornography of me. So that's my issue there. But with Elissa, what I've heard is that she used to be in discords with Nick Ricata, and she basically would send him nudes, like openly post her shit to public channels, and then they got into some sort of argument and she decided to go full A-log on him. So I guess that's what happened there. And that's something, the thing with Elissa is it's like, this person seems to have no personality apart from jumping from E-celeb to E-celeb. And this person really reminds me of Claire Bear, where it's just sort of like, it's kind of depressing, right? Because these are not horrifically ugly women, right? Like, they're not so dumb that they're incapable of working like a 9-to-5 or getting a job. But instead, they find themselves unemployed for whatever reason and jump on the internet to like simp for literal who's. And with Elissa, it seems to be that she's jumping from like E-celeb to E-celeb. And first it was Nick Ricata, and now she's trying to, like, I guess, get clout from the Kiwi Farms crowd. And it's cringe, because it's like, no one brings up the fact that she used to send her fucking shit to, like, Nick Ricata's entire server. We're supposed to believe this person is Laserious Archiver, Laserious Nick Ricata A-log. And it's like, okay, well, I know a lot of Nick Ricata A-logs who haven't sent him their tits. So, I don't know, Elissa. Doesn't sound legit. Also, your husband kidnapped a child. That's not me defaming you. That is on the news. Go and cry to the account on Instagram with 100,000 followers, who, by the way, is an investigative journalist for Netflix, who first uploaded that info. So I had Gabe in my DMs crying at me because I defamed his queen, Elissa clips. And I was just like, Gabe, you're wrong. And he was like, oh, well, find evidence that she was arrested. And I was like, Gabe, I don't care that much, but it's literally on the news. And also it's just, I don't know, the fucking audacity for people like Sprite to be like, oh, you send someone a link to your Kiwi Farms thread, that means you're a pedophile. But Elissa Clips is totally fine, even though she was literally married to a child abductor. Even if, right, let's say Gabe is correct and Elissa was never arrested, why was she in a relationship with someone who was accused of sexually assaulting and kidnapping a child? In fact, I'm pretty sure he was charged with one of those things. And it's crazy. Anyway, let's read chat. Twitch is funded by Jim Atkins. Oh, no, TV Chan, sorry. I read that as Twitch. What receipts do you have about Gahul? Alright. So, with Gahul, the first time I'd ever encountered Gahul was when he made that stream, first responding to Godwinson's stream about me. And he basically said the normal shit that people say about women. And he was like, oh, she's a dumb whore and she thinks she's so hot. And it's like, I literally don't care. But that's when I first heard of him. Now, I didn't actually know he was involved with all these weirdos until Godwinson told me. But the thing is, I did have a very dedicated flagger from his group who went by Barry Bletternick. Maybe you guys have seen him on the Abyss in the sector, in the greater sector on like YouTube, because he used to make these videos where he would basically just yap about nothing into space. And this guy used to post on my cow thread, and he used to basically say, if you don't pay me in Litecoin, I will continue to flag your account down. I think I might even have like a screenshot of that. Like this person that Gahul was associated with, I'm honestly doing the Godwinson thing of flipping my camera around. But he literally said this. And this was basically him trying to, I don't know if you guys can see that, but he basically said, send 2,000 Litecoin to the same address as last time, and I promise not to bother you until New Year's Eve. Can you do that? I know it's kind of a big ask, but I'm taking your claim of being rich seriously. And he sent his fucking little faggy Litecoin address, and he posted that on my public cow thread, trying to extort money out of me. So I reported him. I reported him to Litecoin and to the FBI. And he kind of hasn't come back, I guess. But these are like people that are very, very associated with Gahul. With Barry, I asked around a lot about who that was at the time it was happening. And someone was like, oh, he comes from TV Chan. And then I was like, oh. And I never really understood why he was so dedicated to flagging me, because I've literally never ever had a conversation with this person. This isn't like someone I doxed, right? It's not like someone got doxed and they're really upset. Like, I understand why the former owner of lolcow.farm was flagging me, but I have no idea why this guy was so obsessed. But anyway, smart water moment. This is very autistic. This is a very autistic stream. I'm sorry. I haven't done this in a while, so I'm not like on best form. But my friends were gonna hecking end me if I didn't actually do this. Tongue Gahul. Yeah, text is illegible because it's inverted. Yeah, you might want to screenshot that and flip it around. So anyway, let's talk about Daniel Lopez. Now, this is someone who you have probably seen posting about me on every thread about me that exists. There's a lot of them, I know. And he used to have a Twitter called AL_Mudhill. And the PFP was like an image of me as a kid that he'd edited like a blacked logo onto. Really high IQ stuff, I guess. And he was actually a simp of mine. How I first found out about Daniel Lopez is someone tagged me on Onion Farms, and they were like, have you seen this? And I was like, seen what? And he had cut my username into his legs. And I was like, I'm not a pussy about that stuff. I'm not going to be like, oh my god, you're so insane, you need help. But I was just like, oh, that's interesting, I guess. And I kind of didn't really care that much, because this isn't really someone that I'd ever seen before, or like ever interacted with before. This was kind of just it felt like someone random had just literally sliced my shit onto their legs, and I was like, well, how do you want me to respond? So I kind of just ignored it until he hit me up on Discord and added me, and basically he wanted to be included in the underground murky world of Discord and Discord gay ops, and I was like, I don't think that's a good idea. Mainly because nearly everyone in my friendship group either got raided or indicted. So I was like, I really don't think that is a good idea, because I don't know you very well, and I don't know how comfortable other people will feel with you in here. And he basically couldn't take no for an answer. And he even VC'd with me. And he sounded really whiny. Like, he had a really fucking effeminate, whiny voice. And I was kind of just like, I kind of felt bad, right? And I know I say like a lot, and I'm sorry, I'm working on that. But I kind of felt bad for him originally, because I was like, he was almost crying, and he was talking about how he has BPD, and how his mother has BPD. And I was like, okay, I guess. Now, he continued to talk to me for a while until I put my foot down, and I was like, okay, listen, I have a boyfriend, and I don't think he will be too happy with the way you're talking to me. And I tried to say it as nicely as possible, but, you know, it's not like I really want to be in Discord DMs exchanging pleasantries and having this like man trying to flirt with me. So I was like, I'm sorry, Daniel, but no. And he then, from that point on, claimed that he cut my name into his thighs platonically. I don't know how that makes any sense, but he was like, yeah, sure, I made you a cut sign, but it was in a hecking platonic, it was just a joke, lol. I totally didn't mutilate myself for a woman who's never spoken to me before, chat. It was a hecking meme. So I was just like, okay, I mean, it's not like I put him on blast for it, right? It's not like I fucking distributed this shit everywhere, or that I was like, hey guys, look at this fucking embarrassing loser. I never did that. So I don't know why he felt the need to lie, but he did. And he then decided to become like one of my biggest A-logs. And I never really got why, because I wasn't horrible to him. Like, I tried to be nice and be like, hey Daniel, I don't know you too well, bro, and you may want to talk to me for longer and actually establish a semblance of a friendship before trying to insert yourself into things that could get your house raided on Discord. And by that, I don't mean weird sex crimes, by the way. I mean the kind of shit that got my friends, like, raided for, like, prank calls. But anyway, he wouldn't fucking listen, and he kind of ended up being flipped into A-logging me. And he did this for 2 years straight. I had this guy in every thread about me, making, like, ban evading, making new accounts just to fucking post about me. And I was just like, God. Because it was so weird. He used to be such a big fan. Like, his accounts, he literally would say that I looked like Anne Hathaway. And he named his account, like, Anne Hathaway fan account. He would post about me everywhere, saying that I was an inspiration at one point. I don't think anyone could accuse me of being that. And basically, he kind of just, like, flipped into the polar opposite direction, as BPD people do, and was like, oh, I hate her. Like, I was just trolling. I was just trying to be nice to her. Like, I actually fucking hate her, chat. And, this basically, this would accumulate in him basically just eventually openly violating the law and posting stuff like, exploitative pornography, posting what he thought was my docs, making posters, accusing me of being a pedophile with my face on it, and threatening to, like, distribute them in England, threatening to come over to England to harass me. And it got to a point where I was just like, what in the actual fuck? Why is he so mad? why is this little ginger fuck so mad? So I did a little research into Daniel Lopez, and he is a homeless 34-year-old, overweight, homeless 34-year-old drug addict. Actually homeless, by the way. I'm not talking about Section 8 housing. I'm not talking about, oh, he lives from motel to motel. No, he is on the streets. And anyway, someone found his mugshots, and these were posted to Kiwi Farms and to Cow. And this basically culminated in him leaving and never posting in my threads, or well, I mean, I'm pretty sure he does still post about me, but let's say he's just not name fagging anymore. Like, he's not out here like, hey, it's Daniel Lopez and you're watching the Trollcow show, right? He used to be doing all of that stuff. But now he's more subtle about it. He's a bit more nervous. So he kind of dipped. And I think the reason he dipped is because he has a fucking massive criminal record. Like, I'm going to try and find all of the stuff that, what did you do to Adam's body? I sacrificed him. Release Eowynson from his K-hole. This lady crapped her pants in secondary school. So true, guys. Hi, Queen, it's Harley. I'm going to mod you. This is my... Oh, there we go. Oh. I feel like I have modded you. Anyway. What are you saying? Where's Godwinson? Okay. A lot of people are talking about Godwinson. So I'm going to explain where Godwinson is. So, the reason I did what I did is because I'm going to be so for real. I may be socially retarded, but I do have pattern recognition skills. And with Godwinson, every single person that has ever been his friend has been thrown under the bus in some way or another. Every single one of them. And yeah, some of them are people I don't like Null, right? But they were still friends. And I was like, well, that doesn't really bode well for me, does it? Now, when I met up with him, and we're actually in really similar lines of work, which is another thing that was weird. But when I met up with Godwinson, I said to him, so what do you do if you get, like, bored, like, in this part of the internet? Because, you know, there's times where it's just fucking dead. And I was like, what do you do in those times, Godwinson? And he literally said, and I quote, when stuff gets boring, I just snake on my own friends. And he said that to me. And I was like, I don't think we're going to be friends, Godwinson, is what I thought in my head. Because I was like, that's going to be me. Like, you know, you've thrown your other friends under the bus. Why wouldn't you do that to me? So I think in that moment, I realized he wasn't very trustworthy. Now, the thing that I didn't like is, on one of his first streams about me, he insisted on basically disproving the deepfakes of me. And I understand why, because that needed to be shoved out of the way, because it was all anyone was talking about back then. But was it necessary to show an hour-long footage of that? Was it necessary, Adam? And it kind of felt like I was his lolcow, and it kind of went wrong and he wanted to hit. Like, it felt like I should have been Godwinson's lolcow, but he kind of thought I was oily. So he was like, Actually, I think I'll hit that instead. But the thing is, I just had this sneaking suspicion that if the crowd wasn't on my side, and if, if he felt like he had to, he would snake me in fucking seconds. So I just kind of was like, I'm not gonna be the snaked in this scenario. And he was also getting very involved with the KF stuff. Now, I do have a plan on how to deal with Kiwi Farms, but Godwinson's plan was counterproductive to the way I wanted to go about my plan. And there can only be one anti-KF warrior, I guess. So there was a lot of stuff that led up to that. Now, I have tried to get into contact with Godwinson. I have tried to find out how he's doing. Not to a big extent, like I've sent him 1 or 2 texts. He doesn't, like, it says delivered, but he never reads it. And I have spoken to some people that he knows in real life, and they say that he's just doing bad in general, or whatever. I don't know if that's true, because they could be fucking with me. They're probably fucking with me. But he hasn't come back, and I've tried. But hopefully there will be some happenings in the sector soon that will make him come back. I need to fucking vape desperately. Weren't you going to do a stream about BX, or is that for another occasion? Okay, yeah. The BX stream is coming. But with BX, there's like a shit ton of content. I think even BX herself would admit that her lore is massive. But with BX, it's going to have to be split into a series, because I just don't have enough time to go over everything. She used to be a former OnlyFans creator. She then started the whole 764 stuff. She has argued with so many different people that are not in 764 that she's falsely labeled as 764. That, I'm going to have to go through every one of those arcs. And that is why I can't pack that all into this stream, because I need a whole fucking timeline of BX for the past 10 years for any of this to make sense, so that any of you can understand how she ended up where she is today. Now, I do believe BX means well, right? I'm not mad at BX because she's trying to shut down 764. I get why people dislike 764. Now, I do think it's important to make the distinction that not every single comm group is a child extortion ring. There are some comm groups that are literally just focused around swatting or Satanism, and they don't even have the extortion aspect to them. And she basically paints everyone with the same brush and says anyone that's into Satanism, accelerationism, or is in comm has to be a child molester. And that is my ultimate problem with her, because on the flip side, she is friendly with people like Sprayheader, who use a website that hosts exploitative pornography and has groomers and extorters on it. So I'm like, either you care about the kids or you don't care about the kids. So I think that's my ultimate problem with BX. I know people seem to think that I am too damn fast for YouTube's Gabe. I know people seem to think that that I have this big dislike of her because the thing with Kiwis is they seem to think every time I dislike a woman, it's because I'm jealous. And in itself, that is like a misogynistic assumption, right? Because it's like, I've just seen the chat. But exactly, the same forum that wanted to dox Ralph's toddler son, right? It's, with BX, my issue is not the way she looks, or any of that. It's literally just the hypocrisy, and that's exactly my issue with Little Drip. These are similar people. Now, with Little, I don't dislike her. I dislike what she does. I think originally Little would have been okay if she had stuck to the radical feminist posting and she hadn't become such a strong white knight for KF. Because it doesn't make sense. It is like me advocating against the darknet on a Tor site. It just doesn't make sense. Kiwi Farms hosts exploitative material of women, right? Whether it hosts CP is something that everyone wants to debate. I think it does. I know that people are going to see that me and be like, no, right? But either way, we cannot argue with the fact that it hosts exploitative pornography. That is inherently exploitative to women. And to call yourself a feminist while basically posting on a website that takes pleasure in exploiting and humiliating women is insane. And I understand if she is. I don't know if she is. Maybe she's just a big fan of him. Maybe she is dating Josh. I'm not sure. But I understand the want to defend your man. When people say my boyfriend should be locked in fucking jail forever and fucking dropping the soap, it makes me fucking mad, okay? But then again, I've never said that I was like an anti-SWAT advocate. So it's not exactly as hypocritical, right? Because I'm not out here saying I am an advocate against prank calling. With Little, she is saying that she is the biggest radical feminist advocate, while her boyfriend contributes, or the guy she supports, contributes to the exploitation of women on a daily basis. And that's my fucking issue, is that I don't care if she is giving fucking Null sloppy toppy every single morning. Good for her. I care about the fact that it's almost worse than an outright misogynist who just says, I hate women and I want them to suffer. It is worse that she is LARPing as a feminist while she and the people around her actively contribute to the exploitation of women. I mean, I just think that's a lot more disgusting than just outwardly saying you fucking hate women. Let's see. BX reminds me of Pearl Davis. So true, Queen. Azalea Banks is my wonderful GF. She's a queen and she looks like Harley Quinn. Who is Ethan Ralph? That is, we need to lure you up on everyone. She, says Kino Housemaster. Right. There is a lot of debate about Little's identity, and I'm going to get into this, because I'm a very poor self-advocate. I am very bad at wording things, so people tend to accuse me of lying over and over again, because I just have a very, very low ability to, I guess, go into detail the first time, so people never quite understand what I mean. So let's get into it. With Little, I have done a lot of research. I have found her Rainy Tuk Tuk account on Twitter. That is verifiably her. But I don't have any technical evidence to suggest she is or isn't Josh. I'm going to call it a she for now, because I think it makes more sense until I have anything else to go off of. Now, I can say that their IP addresses at certain times have been the same. That Josh and Little have been on the same IP range, or on the same IP address. I can state that for a fact. But that, I know, you guys are going to be like, oh, that means it's conclusive. Mystery fucking solved. It isn't. It isn't. And the reason why is because, for example, with my boyfriend, I have to make Twitter accounts for him. Because he can't do it, for whatever fucking reason. I got hair on my mouth. He can't set up his own account, so I have to set them up. And if someone were to look into our IP addresses, people would say we're the same person. And people do think he is a sock of me. But which is insanely retarded, but whatever. People would say we're the same person because the IP addresses are the same. So that is why I don't think that is conclusive evidence. Because, if I had a friend over, and they wanted to shitpost on the internet with me, again, we'd have the same IP addresses. So I don't think that is conclusive enough. And that's my issue. That's my issue with the people saying that Josh and Little are the same person, is we need more evidence than they shared an IP once. Because, again, that could be for a number of reasons. And with IP addresses, that they can be spoofed. People can use the same exact VPN. So I don't think that is conclusive enough evidence. I get why other people would say it is. The other thing about Little Drip is, well, what I will say is that I don't actually believe that Little Drip is European. The spelling is just too Americanized. The things Little knows about are things that are, again, too Americanized. But then again, she could be European. I know a lot about my friends and my boyfriend's cultures without actually being from those places. But I don't know. If I had to say if Little is Josh or not, I couldn't fucking tell you. I am bang in the middle of 50-50. And people get mad at me for this. And I know that a lot of the A-logs want to believe it's the same person, and it would be absolutely fucking hilarious. I think it is very important to hold a degree of to have a degree of credibility when trying to expose these things. And I mean, it's like all the people saying Clyde is Brian and then Sean Walker, and then, you know, I mean, you guys have no fucking evidence as to who this person is. And that's kind of how I feel about Little Drip, is until you can completely prove that is or isn't him, then posting threads saying they're the same person and it's just screenshots of similar posts on Kiwi Farms, that doesn't cut it for me. Yeah, Cher, you're right. A Little claimed to be Belgium. Little is long gone, but Josh still uses the same writing patterns as her. That's also not definitive proof. See what I'm saying, okay? People have, when I have joined communities before, on Discord, people have thought that I was a sock of my boyfriend. And then I get on camera and they're like, oh, you're a different person. So this is the thing, right? If you're friends with someone, or you're dating someone, or even if you just look up to someone, you're gonna adopt similar patterns and ways of speaking. And this is why I cannot say whether Little is or isn't Null. But what I also can say is that Null did state on KF somewhere that he was going to make a sock and wait for people to find out, to like, you know, see if they could notice it was him. But we don't know what that sock is. So, again, I have not enough proof. The Twitter account was interesting because it posted, Little Drip's Twitter posted some images of like cooking. But again, there's no evidence that this is her content. It could have come from someone else's Instagram. It could have come from Pinterest. It could have come from Tumblr. So that's why I again, it's not enough proof for me. I could go and, you know, I could go onto one of the bitchy popular girls from my high school's Instagram and steal one of their images and post it, and that doesn't mean it's my image. That doesn't mean I'm that person, and that's why I still don't think that it's conclusive enough. You know, it's a very good gay op, the Little thing, whatever it is, but I am not going to join the A-logs and saying it's 100% for sure, Josh, because I think that would be disingenuous. God, I wish that brush were me. Okay. Pictorial evidence. So, this is my issue this is my issue with the little thing. I just, there isn't enough proof for or against. But if you guys want a little stream, I can go over what we have. But if I had a conclusion, I would have posted it. Now, I can state that Null bought a ring for someone, or maybe just to collect gold or silver, which I've already posted the receipt for. It's on Soy Jack Party. If you guys can't find it, it's on Lashati. I know a bunch of my friends are going to get mad in chat because I mentioned that site. What's wrong with being disingenuous? Well, people are very disingenuous towards me, and I don't appreciate it. So, when I post evidence, I want it to be conclusive. I'm never going to do an expose on someone that doesn't have a conclusion. There is always a point. When I did the expose on Vincent Zen and concluded that this is not pre-recorded. How much vape juice do I have left? Not a lot. Mega Kawaii Kitten. Hi, this is not pre-recorded. I'm being fucking hecking defamed. I need to get another vape pod. Oh, this one's a weird flavor. 1 sec. I'm such a spug. I like these wheelie chairs. Anyway. But you were just going to talk about Gabe trying to pay you out and not give any evidence. Okay, let's give evidence. Let's go over the Gabe DMs. Okay. I have them on here. I just need to work out how to flip the camera without doxing absolutely everything in here. Okay, let's go for the Gabe Hoffman. There's a lot of shit on here. Holy fuck. Alright. Some of this is just mentions of other people mentioning Gabe Hoffman, so I need to scroll over to his I'm only going to show you a few. Okay. Because there's going to be a separate stream on this. Trying to find the exact ones that you're talking about. But I can certainly show you the recent ones on Elissa clips. Okay. Hold on a second. I need to flip. Alright. So, in this DM, Gabe, I called Scarlett a stupid whore. I'm sorry. They were rowing, Ethan, Ralph, and Scarlett during this time. So forgive me, for I have sinned. But I said, I forgot about that, because he kept saying, where are the arrest records? Even though they're literally all over the internet. And I can find the original thing that posted her. But here is where Elissa Clips created a GoFundMe and claimed she was being defamed. And I posted a quote, which this was originally posted onto Onion Farms. So you guys can screenshot this. And and this is her, I'm going to read this to you. This is her GoFundMe. As many of you are aware, I became involved in a highly contentious and public custody battle. By association, I've been the subject of systematic harassment and defamation of character for the last year. From Facebook groups to YouTube, the harassment has spread into my local community here at home. The local police department have shared some of the defamatory material on their social media, including a misleading missing persons poster some fans made up that included all of my information and photo. I live locally, and it has become problematic. It has been a year now, and there is no end in sight. I have remained respectful and kept my head down, but it has made no difference. It is now obvious that the only way to clear my name and get these individuals to stop is to pursue legal action. I've been unemployed and unemployable this year thanks to their social media campaign of hate, harassment, and defamation of character. As you can imagine, this has caused me great financial hardship. Many of you have been on the receiving end of these hecking bullies. The stalking, enjoy prison, stalk a child. Harassment, lies, attacks have been too much. I'm trying to put my life back together. I need your help. As you can imagine, this has been very difficult for me to write, as I am sure the repercussions from those mentioned above will be severe. However, I have faith in those who have seen firsthand what lengths these people are willing to go to, like trying to find her child. And I am confident that there are some of you that are willing to bring an end to this. It is with a humble heart that I kindly ask for your help and shekels in this matter, so that I may be able to free myself and move forward on my path to a peaceful life away from the stalker children. So I said, yes, so fully trained police officers who serve the country she lives in got it wrong. But this one schizo blonde woman who archives on behalf of mostly pedophiles is someone I should believe. And Gabe gets very mad, very upsetty spaghetti, and he's like, this is not an acceptable response. You have recklessly slandered and defamed someone. Completely false allegation. She was never arrested in relation to the Michael Long case. She was married to him. Period. End of story. You came to care about being slandered online, and your answer is basically, I'm going to leave a slanderous and false post up there until I can prove it. Does that sound familiar, Gabe? Does that sound familiar to maybe what a certain website or forum does? If you need to do further research, the post should not be up while you do so. And I said, Gabe, I cannot care about every blonde internet horseshilling for pedophiles. And we're going to do a separate stream on this, but I just thought I'd show you the original Elissa poster. Her name is Elissa Bordelon. This is the missing person's photo, and this is her. You can probably recognize it from her YouTube channel. This is her full name. Sophie was taken Wednesday at 2021 from Seagun, Texas by her father, Michael John Long. Michael John Long is 42 years old and 6'4". He may be traveling with Elissa Louise Bordelon, 32, and John Leon Long, 78 years old. Do not approach, call the police, right? So, she was married to that guy and helped him flee. And also, I just thought this was incredibly funny. This was posted on a Facebook group. Mike's girlfriend, Elissa Bordelon, is no longer an admin in this group, remember. Guess she saw the writing on the wall. Maybe she is staying with Georgia Landis. I mean, why do they always have something wonky? You know, Claire Bear had a snaggle tooth. This one has a snaggle eyeball. But this was fucking posted on a Facebook group. And, you know, this is someone, Michael Long is someone that Elissa was in a relationship with, chat. So, what do we think? Proper blocked up the bog now. You look like a model. Oh. Anyway. I am not going to defend Elissa clips. I don't care about the attention-seeking hoes that associate themselves with Kiwi Farms and their entire... Okay, so when is the Gabe stream? We're going to do a vote on what people want first, the BX stream or the Gabe stream. But I do not concern myself with the attention-seeking blonde hoes that, apart from Azealia Banks in chat, because she's uwu. She has my attention. But with most of the people that are the women that are surrounded by Kiwi Farms, I mean, they would happily... I'm pretty sure most of them would sacrifice their own children for a few positive reacts on Kiwi Farms. So you would be more interested in the Gabe stream. All right, you guys want the game stream. The Gabe stream. Why do you want to see my feet? I was going to do that, and I realized people would call me a whore in my cow thread, because apparently, I guess feet are so hecking sexual. So, what do you guys want to see? The BX or the Gabe stream? Because with Gabe, what he originally wanted to pay me to do, and I'm just going to state this now, because I know that otherwise he'll be like, oh my god, you were going to do it. I wasn't. But he wanted to pay me to throw Ethan Ralph under the bus. That was what he wanted me to do. And the reason I didn't do it is because, number one, I didn't particularly want to, and number two, I am sorry, but $1,000, Gabe, we may, that's rookie numbers. That's rookie numbers, Gabe. I might be able to find... I need to find this, but I feel like if I show this now and not then it will ruin the whole next stream. I'm just going to confirm I have the screenshot here. I know I sent it to my boyfriend, so he'll have it if I don't. It'll just take him a while to fucking find it. He is having technical difficulties. Let's see what we have here. Also, Insane Hermit, if you're watching, you're iconic. Shout out to you. And I miss you. Come back, please. Please come back. Okay. Anyway, the other thing, Gabe, I'm gonna find this for the next stream. But the other thing with exactly. Clip the allegation, spread it, and then give the receipt for the next stream. All right. So what Gabe wanted to do is pay me X amount of money to snake on Ralph. And I was like, I don't really have much reason for doing that. So I would kind of just string him along. But as you guys will see, I never fucking took the fucking payment. Now, Ralph already has enough people who fucking hate him. I don't think there is anything that I could post that hasn't already been posted by the innumerable amount of people who stalk him on multiple websites. So I was like, Gabe, But anyway, thank you. Oh, hello, Vordy. Gabe had a big fucking problem with Gabe used to be in my DMs on various platforms telling me to break up with my boyfriend because he is a Nazi. And he used to say shit like, you need to find a nice Jewish boy. I could find you a nice Jewish man in one of these Jewish events near you. And I was like, I'm just gonna say it, okay? Since I was a very, very young age, my parents were like to me, hey, are you gonna marry a nice Jewish man? And I literally straight up said, I'm not attracted to Jewish boys. I took the red pill at like age 7. So I fully just said that. And I said that to Gabe. I was like, I don't want to date a Jewish guy. And he was like, oh, well, you know, your boyfriend is a Nazi and a loser. And I was like, why are you giving me relationship advice, Mr. Hoffman? Why? Let me see if I can find some of those caps, because I think they are very funny, and I sent them all to my boyfriend at the time. Right, okay. No respectful Jewish guy is doing Nazi stuff on X. You're a pretty girl. Plenty of nice, young, Jewish professional cocktail mixers you can attend IRL and meet a great man. And then, as we were talking about someone else here, I think it might have been Travel something, or Josh, I am not sure, but I said, I love my boyfriend. I don't need a professional cocktail mixers or a Jewish man. I have my own career, and I don't need to be set up with some normal dipshit that I have nothing in common with. Grew up in a cult and would never date among my own community again. That is true. That preconceived attitude is very unhelpful. If you refuse to even go and try to meet people like that IRL, you will never know if you miss your birth shirt. And I did not appreciate that. I don't need dating advice, and I certainly do not want to date a Jewish man. That screen though, yeah. I'm sorry. It's currently what we're working with. I have so many fucking laptops here, but I haven't set up everything on my PC and shit. You were just sitting on this the whole time. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of DMs with people that I think a lot of you wouldn't expect, but I usually don't throw people under the bus until I guess Gabe Hoffman decided that that the whore Elissa clips was of higher standing than me, and I decided in that moment that this is never someone that's going to be in my circles. So I guess get fucked. So, I know people are going to be incredibly mad about this, but I am sorry. I'm sorry, Gabe. You shouldn't have called me mentally ill and a drug addict because I didn't want to sweep for Elissa clips. I have like a hanger nail. It's really annoying. Anyway, that screen. I'm really sorry about the screen. It's actually not the screen. Hold on. Let me show you this. Actually, let me not, because it has some doxy shit on it. But basically, it is the screen protector that is cracked and not the actual phone. But I can't take it off because it's made out of glass and I'm worried it will slice me and not in the edgy way. And I just don't want to deal with that. So until I can get the screen protector replaced, I'm sorry. But, you know, for the stream, which is why I didn't want to make this a Gabe stream, because I will just upload the stuff onto the screen so that you guys don't have to look at another device like Kino Dogme style. So, yeah, I was just sitting on it the whole time. Trollcow beats me and tells me to get back in the kitchen. So true. Get back in the kitchen. So, yes, I don't mind Jewish women. Jewish women can be uwu, but Jewish men, I'm not about that life. I'm sorry. I would never breed with another fellow Jew. I said it. I have a shit ton of health problems. I have genetically low, like very, very poor eyesight. And I have so many health problems. This is the first time in a long time I've actually been well enough to stream. Where is my diabetic monitor? I have diabetes. I have a rare type of diabetes called diabetes insipidus. That's why I have my water here constantly. Basically, you have a brain. Of course you do. You have a pineal gland, which is like in the front area of your brain. And that contains hormones that regulate certain systems in your body, such as water levels, and things like that. Thyroid is one of the things that the pineal gland is very, very centered around. And when your pineal gland fails, your body can't do things like regulate water. And that's where you develop things like diabetes insipidus. Diabetes insipidus means that basically, you said pineal, tung sahor. Basically, I am missing a hormone called AVH. That is a hormone that basically makes my body able to, makes my body able to retain water, and so it can't, which means I get dehydrated a lot faster, and therefore I need more water, and it won't regulate, I suppose. So, there's that. And the other thing that I used to have a big issue with was my thyroid. I don't have an Adam's apple. If I say that in my thread, you're wrong. But my thyroid used to be so overactive that I was really underweight, and everyone thought that it was like for some whatever fucking reason. But really it was just my thyroid crashing out. So I got TSH, my TSH hormone fixed, but I still can't regulate water very well. I have a lot of spinal problems, muscle problems, I'm basically Mr. Medica in terms of health issues. Hopefully I won't die though, touch wood. So, like, this is enough reason in itself for me to never want to breed with another Jew. Because I'm not doing that to my future children. I am not, ever. I have so many health issues. I do not like my nose. I'm not doing that. No. Only white men around here. So I was kind of insulted by Gabe's suggestion. And it's not like, it's not entirely like a race or political thing. Like, you're attracted to what you're attracted to, and like, I don't want to be told that I have to date someone just because they're the same ethnicity. So you want to ruin a whole white bloodline. Well, if someone told me that I could take a pill and I'd be Aryan, I would take it without fucking hesitation. And it's not because I don't enjoy being Jewish. I just, I don't get on with my own community. I never really did growing up. And I certainly don't get on with my family. And I don't know, with what I've experienced, you will never be Aryan. With what I experienced in the Jewish community growing up, it really fucking put me off. And I think, oh God, how do I say this? Basically, I don't know. I with England, and living in England from such a young age, I kind of had to. When I first came to England, I was very, 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 like, liberal, actually. You guys would have fucking hated me. I never really understood why people were just racist. I used to think that you should judge people based off of your experiences with them rather than what, I guess, stereotypes that there are. And then I lived in England for over a decade or two, and I realised why those stereotypes exist. There are so many interactions I have had with people who are in this country illegally. I could not be pushed to the other side on immigration. And I think, there is some truth to my people being partially responsible for this. And I don't think a lot of these people come from countries that are compatible with Western society, and I don't think it's racist to say that. There are people from countries where it's normal to genitally mutilate, like, young girls, and where it's normal to marry them off at 13. Are you saying that me, as an immigrant from Eastern Europe with Jewish lineage, is the same as those people? I think it's also about who you're immigrating. Who is immigrating? Because England, when I was young, there were a lot of people who came from Poland and Eastern Europe and Albania, and then it kind of, like, I don't know, the floodgates opened and all of the immigrants ended up coming in from countries like Pakistan, and I think that the issue that I have is that I think, well, my opinion as a kid was always that the Jews and white people should support each other. Because I was like, why not? Like, I mean, we all kind of have some of the same values on this stuff and some of the same opinions on certain immigrants. and I say certain, and by that I mean illegals or people who are raping people. But for some reason, there was never that collab between white people and the Jews, which is what I really, really wanted to happen. So I kind of had to pick a side, and considering how awful I was treated in the Jewish community growing up, I think it's fairly obvious which one I went with. I mean, my own family wouldn't pay for education or healthcare. My classmates, the schools in my area where I was growing up had a massive problem with like pedophilia and child pornography, and that was normalized like as a kid. I mean, to hear about communities like 764, it should be one of those things that shocks you, but it didn't shock me, because that kind of stuff was happening from a young age in real life in the communities that I grew up in. And so I didn't need the internet to radicalize me. I kind of just needed my own experiences in the community, and I was like, yeah, I fucking had it. So I guess that's I'm just saying your excuse was genetic disorders as to why you need White absolves your genetics. Well, I suppose it dilutes it a bit. I'm not a massive fan on globalization. I think supporting race mixing is supporting globalization, which is something I'm very anti. Globalization is a net negative for every single country and race. Globalization is to push for there to basically be no differentiations between different cultures and different races, and that would just basically be the equivalent of human soup. I don't know why anyone fucking supports globalization. And I think the problem with race mixing is it kind of just pushes people further towards that, because there's no distinctions anymore. So I guess I think people should probably mate with people that are as similar to them as they can get. So that's my take on that. I'd race mix with you, Elaine. Thank you. Azalea, you cannot just time out everyone that writes something goonable about me, okay? Bad. I'm gonna punish you. So, like, I don't know. When people are like, oh, you should date someone else who's Jewish, I'm just like, I'm very defensive and supportive of white people. And I think living in England has only sort of pushed me more towards that. And because of that, I think I'm more likely to not date among my own. I know that people are going to call me a traitor, but whatever the fuck. Anyway. So, yeah, I had Gabe Hoffman in my DMs giving me dating advice, unwarranted, and that wasn't acceptable to me. He was also saying that my boyfriend is like a loser and a Nazi, and I was like, it's really crazy because you don't know him like that, and I understand why people are incredibly angry at my friends and my boyfriend, but I feel like it takes a special kind of like retarded hive mind herd mentality type person to basically turn around and be like, you're a Nazi, I'm dismissing you. Like, it's, there are so many people who hate my friends and me, and they've never really even had a conversation with us, and I just feel like buck broken by Hive Mind. Is Lost Soul who I think it is? I have no idea. What the fuck, you're back. Oh my gosh! Exceptional Detective. Is that the, is that who I think it is? I don't know. But hi. King Brian. Hi, Brian. Hi, Brian. Hello, I am back. It is good. It is good to be back. I will be streaming more regularly. Because I know people were very upset at the cancellations of my streams over and over and over again. It will be done properly. It is fucking late now. It is about fucking in the early hours of the morning. Did Pisswinson dox Pisswinson when he fully returned? You know, I think Godwinson got snaked enough, and I think anything more would be disproportional. But anyway, I'm gonna try and stream either weekly or every 2 weeks. Now, I don't want this to be at the same time as Mad at the Internet or as Ralph's streams or as basically anyone else in the sector. So if someone could pinpoint a day, I'll do it on that day. And I do want to try and stream earlier because it is fucking late. So yeah, it is getting on to 1 hour and fucking 1 hour and 16 minutes. So I'll stream for a bit longer and then we're gonna go to sleep. Then I'm gonna pass out. I hope this wasn't incredibly autistic. I know this is kind of fucky and poorly planned, but people wanted me to stream. Kino Casino streams usually start around 8 and Josh streams on Fridays. Okay, so Fridays is off. And what days did the Kino Casino stream on? What are we going to stream about? So I think people want the Gabe stream. I think people want that one. So I might bump that to the top. But I know people also really want to hear about BX. Yeah, we are really competing with Matty and Casey over here. Well, here's the thing. It's like, I try and avoid streaming at the same time as people with way bigger audiences than me. I do not have I don't even have close to the subscriber count I did when I originally was streaming. And I'm very fucking aware of that. So, a lot of people, I am not sure, will be able to fucking find me. So until we get that back up, I'm not sure I want to be stream swiping anyone. I'm being censored because I cherish Jewish women. Ooh. Oh. So anyway, I don't really want to be streaming at the same time as other people. Gabe Hoffman. Okay, cool. Yeah, I will post some leaks on Twitter. But I'm very fucking aware I'm gonna have the entirety of the KF pedophile cabal trying to flag my shit down. So there's that. But yeah, I'm glad we're back. I'm gonna try and make this more regular. I'm gonna be the replacement for, I guess, Godwinson until I can locate him and drag him out of wherever he's snorting coke in. Because that's kind of vibe I got about Godwinson's whereabouts, is that he's somewhere high as shit. So Godwinson be out here living in a trap house. Do not drag him out unless it's a body bag. Brian, that's very mean. But anyway, I am going to stream until I'm out. 11 more minutes. Elaine. And then we'll call it a night, because this has been a fucking long one. My streams are not usually... I said this would be 30 minutes. I guess I talk a lot, but this chair is so fun because I can just, like, whee! Sorry. It's so hard to not spin on a spinny chair. Hi, Elaine Waney. Why is Brian so mad at Godwinson? Your stream has been good. You have natural talent for it. Your fingers are so long. You know, everyone says I have man hands. My palms are actually really small. Like, my wrists are tiny. It's my fingers that are long. Like, my hands don't look this big. Like, IRL. But I can do really cool things with my fingers, like bend my thumb all the way back and do this. People used to be really scared by that one as a kid. I'm like, this is like... Because I have hypermobility because of all my, like, fucking health issues. I can do weird shit. But you do look different. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I'm not, like, fucking minus 171 stone. Cryptid vibes, please stop. No. People are like, you have man hands. Alright, but I can climb trees better than you, so who wins? I have hypermobility too. I can eat my own pussy. I look better, thank you. Slay, guys. This hat used to have a feather. The designer is actually... I've been meaning to, like... Why is my nose running? I'm not even on anything. Oh, I just wiped lipstick all over my nose. Anyway. And honestly, that's growth. But anyway... Not me schizoing out over my appearance. Anyway, the next stream is probably going to be about Gabe, because you guys seem to want to be, want to see the Gabe stuff more, it seems. But it's good to see people back. It's good to see people actually found this stream, and there's been a consistent viewer count throughout this. You know, on my old channel, I had about 600 subscribers, and it was kind of heartbreaking knowing that I'm gonna have to work really hard to get back up to that subscriber count. And that's also another thing that put me off streaming. Is that I just felt like it was fucking over. Because I was like, everyone else, like, is gonna get mad at me because I keep cancelling, but, you know, who's even gonna watch? I love you, and I'm so happy that you're back. Yeah, we're gonna be streaming more frequently. I have, like, a cold or something. I get sick all the fucking time. My immune system is, like, shit. But... I'm going to be trying to stream more regularly. We're probably going to go for either once a week or once every 2 weeks. It's going to be this channel. Now, it is up to my archiver, because I have an archiver, and my archiver tends to archive all my stuff to Odyssey. If I don't know if this video will stay up. I'm probably going to hide it and shove it onto Odyssey. So, I don't mind if anyone's archived this, but you're going to have to refer to that. It is not Impressa. Impressa is a pedophile, and his name is Brian Nunez. He is a Mexican pedophile who lives in a literal trap house. But my archiver is probably going to shove everything on my Odyssey. Because I've said some things that I'm not sure would allow this video to stay up. And I don't want to lose my channel so soon. So this is probably going to go on to Odyssey. It will probably be up for a bit. And then it will go on to Odyssey. It is still going to be up in public view. My Odyssey is... You'll find it. Like Linktree/Trollcow. Odyssey will be on there. I'll plug my Linktree in the description. So you guys don't have... Because I lost fucking everything. So... hold on. I think this is my Odyssey. So I really recommend not DMing me on Odyssey, because that is not managed by me. That is managed by my archiver, and everything gets read. So be careful. This is my link tree, so I'm just gonna pin that. And this video will be archived onto Odyssey, which is on there. And I'm also going to try and set up a Discord so that people can call in. I know people usually enjoy calling in, and we can do maybe some of the blood sport stuff. But I am not going to do the Discord just yet, because, I mean, I can't lie, my Discords get taken down every 2 minutes. And half of the reason they get taken down is for ban evasion from when they previously got taken down. And it's always shit like doxing, so... So yeah, slay. Why is Impressor in here? I'm sorry, Impressor is like a parasite, and when you acknowledge it, it like duplicates and spreads. But can you talk about 764 affiliation? Right, let's talk about that. So, there is a screenshot that spreads around that says my experience in 764. I'm going to explain exactly how I'm associated, because I know people are going to call me a pedophile forever over this. Right, when I was 13 or 14, I started programming, maybe a little bit before that. And one of my friends, who was also programming alongside me, one day I said to him, I can't find someone's shit. Where can I go that will have this info? And he said, Doxspin. And I was like, shit, Doxspin. Okay. So I go on Doxspin, and there are a lot of doxes that I've noticed, because I was just reading through it, that were posted with 764. Like, someone's username was something 764. And I was like, what is that? And he was like, oh, it's an area code. So I joined the Doxspin Telegram. And this led to me finding 764 as it was forming through Doxspin. Like, that's how I discovered it. Now, originally, it was not some weird extortion group. It was a group of people who were just much more hardcore about doxing. They would do stuff like swatting and DDoSing and, you know, fucking phishing people. But people were not extorting children. When I first discovered comm, it wasn't the shithole that it is now that's full of pedophiles, okay? So you have to bear in mind that my experience was a lot different, because the only reason I was in those groups is because I was a bit of a harder core doxer. I wanted to know everything. I was just incredibly angsty. But the people I met originally in comm were other people who were just slightly more malicious doxers, and that's the group I stayed hanging out with. None of those people extort children, but because they're in comm, I have people like Sprite turning around and being like, you're a 764 pedophile. Even though there has not been one fucking screenshot or any slither of proof, because I haven't done this, of me extorting children. So now we've cleared that up. So you gave up information about members to stay out of jail. FBI disagrees with you, by the way. Oh, well, I agree that now 764 is a child extortion ring. But I'm saying 10 years ago, when I first discovered it, or whenever it was formed, because I'm really bad at timelines, it was not that. And the people I knew in it were not doing that. I did snitch on people that I saw extorting children. Yeah, sure. I was not trying to get out of jail myself. I would just see that shit happening in comm, and I'd be like, that's not what I'm about, and that's not what my friends are about. So sure, I threw people under the bus. She's a 10, but she doesn't have a good concept of time. I have a terrible concept of time. Like, so I have to set reminders as to what day of the week it is sometimes. This is crazy, because I have a job, but like, you know, I live like a NEET. My boyfriend says this about me. He's like, why do you live like a NEET when you're employed? So that's the thing. How do you feel about Impressor? He's still in love with you. Now, the thing with Impressor, you know, we'll get on to that. That's a different topic for another day. But, you know, the group that I hung out with in comm were, like, exclusively focusing on stuff like doxing people and prank calling people. They were not child extorters. And that's why I get irritated with this whole assumption that if you're in comm, you're a pedophile. Because a lot of the people in comm are just like, hey, I want to be able to do things like swat people, and that's like hecking banned everywhere else, so I came here, right? I totally disavow the child extortion. So why weren't you streaming? So, okay, let's talk about that. Why wasn't I streaming? So, when I stopped streaming, my family decided it was a fucking brilliant idea to sell the house that I lived in. My house, by the way. This basically led to... I was very fucking depressed about this. I'm an autist. I do not like change. I fucking hate change. So I did not do well with this change. And because of this, I kind of like... It made everything harder, because I moved to a different job. Well, it was sort of the same line of work, but it was in Canterbury. I did get accurately doxed by KF when I lived in Canterbury, but they got the wrong house. They got the correct road, though. But when I was in Canterbury, I got very sick, so... a lot of those houses, in fact, all of the houses on my road have very, very old pipes and water systems. So I got lead poisoning. Had to sell the gold helicopter. What are we on about? But anyway, my family still have my house. They turned it into a chain for like their business, and they don't even live in the country, so I was fucking pissed off about this. But anyway, with Canterbury, I lived in Canterbury, and I was not told about the problem with old houses in Britain and lead. So I ended up getting very ill. I got lead poisoning, and I ended up in hospital with kidney failure. That wasn't great. And I kept getting UTIs because my kidneys were so fucked and I didn't know why. And it was because I had lead poisoning. Everyone's like, you have a hygiene issue. Bro, I am literally so OCD about hygiene. So OCD about hygiene. I am constantly spraying myself because I fucking hate the idea of smelling bad or anything like that. But anyway, I kept getting fucking infections and like liver issues and kidney issues, and I really didn't get why, because I wasn't living particularly unhealthily. So I was just like, why does this keep happening to me? And basically it was lead. I had lead poisoning and I got progressively sicker. And then something kind of happened at work and I got raided. All the shit was dropped against me. But it wasn't to do with anything online. Let's just put it that way. I was raided to do with foreign communications. Which is actually fucking a lot worse than being raided for anything online. Well, it kind of is online, but this was more to do with IRL stuff. And because my entire shit got raided, I literally lost everything. I lost my fucking passports. I lost my paperwork. I lost my childhood teddy bear. That one really hurt. And I was just fucking mad. So I just decided that I was not going to live in Canterbury anymore. And because of all the constant moving, I just really didn't have time to focus on stuff like streaming. And I have a job. I have work in like 8 hours. Shit. Anyway. Glad you're doing good now, dude. You still battle the Kiwi troons in your thread. can I dock Strawberry Douche? I mean, everyone knows. You know, if I mention Strawberry Douche's name, she's gonna flag this shit down, like she has done a million times. Because this person might be the most prank-called Kiwi farmer. I think Strawberry Douche, Strawberry Douche was such a lolcow in my group, that, like, at this point, I feel like, I just feel like she's scared to even post in my thread, because she knows that stuff can happen again. Chat hates Alia. So, there we go, Impressor dropped it for you. So, that's correct. Yeah. She's, I don't know why you can't see my cow thread. Azalea, I really don't. I don't know. Like, maybe you just need to switch VPNs. But anyway, Strawberry has, like, she literally cannot tolerate any negative attention, and she claims that, you know, it's really funny, because when I was on good terms with Little and Josh, they would openly admit that Strawberry Douche's docs was completely correct. And then, as soon as I stopped being friends with them, they turned around, or her, or whatever. They turned, because I wasn't really friends with him, I was friends with Little. I prefer Little to him, I'll say that. But they turned around and they were like, oh, it's a fail docs. And I find that really interesting. It's really funny how quickly a docs can change from being real to fake, depending on what someone's opinion of me is. But, Strawberry is like a female Patrick Tomlinson. It's crazy how this person, like, I think the only reason she doesn't have a thread is because she donates, which is crazy. I mean, you know, she's taking all her meth money, giving all her meth money to Josh. Anyway, so, I never did ketamine. I don't know why people insinuate. I fucking hate ketamine. The only time I have ever had ketamine was when I was spiked with it. And that was fucking awful. Coke, yeah. But I don't do that, like, anymore. Like, maybe once or twice a year or whatever, but ketamine is fucking terrible. It's, like, the only time that I had it was when I was spiked with it, and I hate feeling wonky. I really don't like not feeling in control of myself, and ketamine is one of those ones that, like, warps your perception, and I hate that. I hate that so much. Oh, Savan, oh god, it's Heterogod. Heterogod, please just snake on your pedophile friend who's, like, in custody. Benjamin Brashers. Like, come on. Like, you know he's a loser, and he's gay. Beans. That's the guy who uploaded all of that shit on me. And, his mother is a supporter of hecking trans rights. So I think that explains a lot about why Beans is the way he is. I've been keeping up with most of the sector drama. People are always like, oh, well, why do you talk about Josh if you're not obsessed with him? Well, because I tend to do my best discussion on subjects I have done research on, okay? And it's really difficult for me to speak on people that I haven't done a deep dive on. And I have on him, which is why it's easier for me to interact in conversations that talk about him. In the same way it's easier for me to talk about Godwinson than it is for me to talk about the Kino Casino. I fucking hate the Kino Casino, but I need to learn more lore before I start A-logging some of these people. So that's kind of why I focus on the KF stuff. Anyway, I need to, when are you coming to USA? Okay, let's talk about this. So the visa, I am not eligible for the ESTA visa, and the reason I'm not is because, like I said, in September, no, it was a bit before September actually, I was raided, and Britain put all these insane flags by my accounts, by my banks, by my passports. They put me on a no-fly list, and even though everything was dropped, apparently Esther can refuse you just based on if you were ever arrested or raided or anything like that. But anyway, Willy Wonka looking ass, so true. But anyway, I got approved for a different type of visa. So I got approved for a different type of visa. So when I'll be fully living in the US properly, we're probably looking at like late summer, and I'll be in DC. And the reason I'm telling you guys this is because, like, in America, all the like, there's the fucking white pages, so people are gonna find me. So yeah. In DC, I like DC. It is convenient. Have you figured out how mortgages work? I will never get approved for a mortgage. If I want to apply, if I want to buy a house, I have to buy it outright. Anyway, there's some schizo stuff in a chat. But yes, that's how most of the places look. Yeah, now I think there was originally a TV here. I yanked it out. I have a habit of doing that because I don't like having a television in my room. But anyway, when I'm in DC, I'll probably be I might do some IRL streams, who knows. But Housemaster, the noticing must stop. Stalk a child. But anyway, basically, my relationship with England is weird. It's always been very weird, and because of all of the stuff that sort of happened, I can't apply for ESTA. I got approved for another type of visa. So yeah, it should be around summer. England is not my city. It is absolutely not. ESTA, no, it's ESTA. That's a type of, so there's something called an ESTA waiver program. And if you want to get into America from the UK, there's like a very simple form you can fill out online called an ESTA visa, and basically you should get approved very quickly for it, although I didn't, and that's because Britain fucking hates me but also loves me at the same time, and I don't really, the thing with Britain is it feels like I don't know. I've had some odd experiences here, and if I was a less logical autistic person, I'd probably be completely schizophrenic by now. And I think the problem is eventually I'll be in a very uncomfortable, confining situation here, and I don't want that for myself. I mean, I've always had really weird experiences with England, and I kind of just don't think that it's gonna get better anytime soon, especially with the immigration problem. I think there are people who have tried their hardest to save this country. There have been articles about the MI6 being told to fuck off by the Home Office in relation to basically stating that China is a threat. And it seems that Britain are willing to chuck their own under the bus in exchange for sort of more woke liberal policies and immigration. And I don't know if it's possible for that to change at this point in time. I don't think there are enough people on the right side. Maybe if reform gets in, England could be salvaged, but I think a lot of people who are in positions of power to change things, I don't really think that there are enough people in positions of power to change things. I think people assume that the reason Britain is so fucked up is due to the police and due to the courts and the government, but it's a lot more complicated than that. And you know, there are people who support Sharia law in government positions. There are even Sharia courts. I don't know if you guys know about this. There are Sharia tribunals in Britain, and that is an actual thing. And because of how woven into the system it is, I think that Britain needs radical change, and I think this issue is going to just continue to get worse, so I don't see much of a future here. So that's TLDR. A lot of my friends are in DC, so yeah, hope this helps. Come to New York. New York, I have a soft spot for because I grew up watching Gossip Girl. I think people make fun of me for that. I had a website called Gossip Girl when I was a kid. So because of this, I do have a soft spot for New York, but it is very overwhelming in a way that DC isn't. I also think New York is more for the artsy crowd. And I don't like the artsy degenerate crowds. So yeah. No, it wasn't a blog. Impressive. That was the copy of the original site. I mean, the reason they made that blog was to replicate my original website. Like, that's the law. I still have some of those girls on Discord. They're not doing much online stuff anymore, though. The log cow farm Jannies. So yeah, I am moving to DC. And yeah. When are you coming to Australia? Fuck, dude, I don't even think I'd get let into Australia. If you've ever been arrested, like, you can't get in. I don't know if it, like, when I was 17, 18, like, I got into a lot of fucking trouble, and I got all my shit dropped, but I feel like because of this, the thing, because Digibro vibes, don't insult me. I think because of what's happened before with my situation in Britain, I think there's always just this like a cloud hanging over my head. I don't know. I just think, yeah, DC is dangerous as fuck. Won't be for me. I'll be good. I will protect myself. But anyway, Chatteroony, thank you for coming. I'm not going to be in that part of DC because I'm white. But anyway, thank you for coming to kind of white and Jew, but whatever. Thank you for coming to my stream. There will be more. There will be more to follow. Maybe a Gabe one soon. I will try and do this every week or every 2 weeks. Yeah. Larval stage Laura Luma. No. Although, yeah, I could see myself getting a lot of surgery, but I mean, all I really want is a nose job and my jaw to be. I want the opposite of Laura Luma. I want my jaw to be like filed down, like it's kind of masculine at certain angles. I don't like that. Anyway, you look nothing like Laura Luma. Yeah, I don't think I do. I get why people say that though, because like I think people assume I'm also going to get the same type of surgeries as her. Disavow Benjamin Netanyahu. I think I need to look more into him. Again, like people tell me to disavow like people that I haven't done enough research on. Okay, sure, yes, I disavow. But again, disavow the Rothschilds. I'm friends with one of them, so I can't do my friend like that. I can't do my friend like that. He's a good boy. Anyway, that was autistic as fuck. Thanks for coming. Oil up. Stay safe. And God bless.